This fall, we're going to do a special version of the 48-hour film project, which is all sci-fi horror themed. And so what will happen is we'll have a number of meetups coming up, leading towards our weekend of filming. Our weekend of filming is going to be September 29th to October 1st. If you haven't gotten a flyer, there are flyers at the table up there. You're welcome to get them. I do recommend taking one. That weekend, teams of filmmakers will meet at the kickoff location, which I don't know where that is yet, but I'm working on it. I don't have to know yet. And you don't have to know yet. But we're going to meet at the kickoff location, and the teams will pull from a hat or some other random method. They will receive a horror subgenre and a sci-fi subgenre, and then everyone will be told the same line of dialogue that they must include in their movie, the same prop that they must include in their movie, and the same character that they must include in their movie. And then 48 hours later, they will turn in a finished film, right? They'll write the movie, they'll shoot the movie, and they'll edit the movie in those 48 hours, and then they will turn it in. And a couple weeks later at the Oaks Theater in Oakmont, we will screen all of the films in a proper movie theater, and then judges, high-end judges, they will see those movies. I don't think any of our judges are here right now, but I will be announcing the judges this week. Our judges will be seeing the film, and then the audience will vote as well at the screenings. And then on October 29th, we will have the best of / award show, and we will screen the best, some of the best films, maybe not all of them, because they're so good, but we'll screen some of them, and then we'll give away the awards. And I'll be on stage. I'll wear a silly costume. It will be dressed to scare or impress. So that's great. Leading up to that, we're going to have 4 or 5 wonderful events. Let me just go down here. Oh, before I do that, before I tell you all about the events, I'd just like to take an opportunity to thank our sponsors. Buffalo Bill's House is going to be donating a tour, a free tour, and shea body lotion and t-shirts and stuff. So you can see where they shot the film. Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, Silence of the Lambs, yeah. Construction Junction is the sponsor, and we're going to be having our next meetup event at Construction Junction. We're going to have a photo scavenger hunt at Construction Junction. That photo scavenger hunt will also be at the Pittsburgh Center for Reuse and the space upstairs. It's sort of like one compound. And then Lightbulb Rentals is going to give away 4 $250 gift certificates for audience choice winners, and then the best cinematography winner will receive a free weekend rental of whatever they want from Lightbulb Rentals. It could be an Alexa, and it could also be a set of Cook Primes and a nice monitor. So it's a beefy package for best cinematography. The Weeping Glass and Grim Wizard Caffeinated Alchemy have signed on as sponsors, and we're going to have an event at Grim Wizard. We're going to have a coffee tasting and mixing event at the end of August. So that's coming up. Of course, 2420 Penn, which is Bold Escape Rooms and Steel City Axes, they are going to be giving 2 big prize packs for 6 people to go there and throw axes and be in an escape room. The Grand Midway Hotel is about an hour and a half from here. It is completely and utterly haunted, and they are giving a free night stay for best writing. So I hope you write something, and I hope you go there and write something else. Film Pittsburgh is going to give away a bunch of tickets for their fall festivals are coming up, right? They've got Pittsburgh Shorts and Three Rivers Film Festival, and they're going to give away a mess of tickets for us, and I don't know exactly how many. And then Rick Dutro and Stephanie Swift, who often act in the productions, are wonderful actors. They're also Howard Hanna real estate people, and they're going to give away a $50 gift certificate to Home Depot. And we're also going to have an event at Iron City Circus Arts on September 17th. And that event will be really wonderful because we're going to teach you how to take a punch, how to act like a zombie, and how to fall. So if you don't know how to do that, but you think you might want to act someday, you can go to Iron City circus arts on that day, and we'll teach you how to do it. Oh, and Oneberg is this like news aggregate site online, and especially on Facebook. They have 450,000 followers, and they've agreed that the film that does the best job at displaying Pittsburgh, the best use of Pittsburgh, they will share it on their site with their 450,000 followers. So maybe it'll get a few more eyes on your movie, which is really all we want, right? I just want people to see my movie, and for good things to happen. I think that is, oh, and then Goat Milk Fudge Productions, that's me. I give away $600. So, those are our sponsors right now. We are adding more sponsors still, but thank you to all our sponsors for doing it. Oh, by the way, could you please give it up for Riley's Poorhouse? These people, they support indie filmmaking. This isn't our first time here. They don't ask for anything out of me. They just, Mason, who's the manager here, is the nicest dude ever. Like, I text him and say, hey Mason, can we have an event? And he's like, yeah bro, no problem. That's it, that's all of it. So they're definitely a sponsor, but they're just really nice people. And Mason wanted me to let you know that he wants to start a dinner theater troupe here, and nobody has reached out to Mason to do it. So if you're interested in that, I can give you Mason's cell number and you can text him about it, because he wants to do that. He's been wanting to do it for quite a while. So those are all cool things that are happening. Upcoming events, of course, everything is always at our website, which is the 48-hour film, 48hourfilm.com/Pittsburgh/sci-fi_horror. That's where everything about this event is always posted. And then I've mentioned these other events. They're coming up. The filming weekend, of course, September 29th to October 1st. I wanted to tell you what our genres are. I have told no one this information. This is the first time it's being shared publicly anywhere. So I thought you might like to know what the subgenres are going to be for the 48-hour film project, sci-fi horror. I will post these online, like later on tonight or tomorrow when I have a free moment. But here's what they are. The horror genres, which every team will get one of. Undead. This is all undead, all types of undead. Escape room / liminal horror. Sort of fun. Oh yeah, by the way, before I get too far along, just give me 1 second here. Max Christopher made this slideshow. Please give it up for Max, he's one of my interns. Nick Pastor is an intern of mine and he's running the camera right now. Please give it up for Nick. And Zach Miller is with us, he's right here. Zach helped set up everything that you see here. So, thank you guys so much. All right, so moving on with our really cool slideshow. Classic monster creature feature. So this includes Wolfman, Dracula, right? All the classics, all the Warner classics. Witchcraft. You may get the witchcraft subgenre. Paranormal movie. Local lore. Yeah, that local thing. Yeah. Gothic horror. Insect horror. Yeah. Curse prophecy. Possessed person or thing. I hate it when my shoe is possessed. Slasher splatter. Comedy horror. Psychological horror. Clowns, funhouse, carnivals, and freaks. This wouldn't work for me. I love clowns. I'm not afraid at all. Supernatural religious horror. That does work for me. And those are our horror subgenres. Every team will get one horror subgenre. You can either do the horror one, the sci-fi one, or you can mix them. All right, here are sci-fi subgenres. Robots, cyborg, punk. This is steam, diesel, solar, etc. I don't know what etc. is. Etc. punk. Alien. Yeah. Time travel. parallel universe, or alternate reality? Yes. I too am excited, Darrell. Space opera. You can get the space opera. And any definition that you derive from these, so if space opera to you means Star Wars, that's a win. If space opera to you means singing an opera in space, that is also a win. I recommend you look up Space Hospital. Space Hospital. Apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic? Space pirates, ninjas, or cowboys? Mutation. Huh. Artificial intelligence. First encounter, first contact. Invasion, which I know sounds similar, but invasion doesn't have to be this. Invasion could be ants. Invasion could be alien. I don't know. Invasion could be a lot of different things, right? Utopian or dystopian? Scientific romance. Comedy sci-fi. Lost World. And that's it. Those are all the subgenres. You have seen them. Great. So, that concludes my exciting portion, unless anybody has any special questions for me. Are there any special questions for me? Yes. You can combine genres, but if you are combining a genre that is not your genre given, it has to clearly be seen that the genre you were given is used. Yeah. Right now, I would like to, unless there are any other questions, I would like to take a moment and introduce Bill Lyon, founding member, man of many hats, 4-time winning team. He's a founding member of a 4-time winning team in Pittsburgh. They won twice for Best Horror and twice for Best Normal 48. Gaff tape and a prayer. Gaff tape and a prayer. Please give it up for Bill. He's going to tell you some helpful hints.
Getting you ready. Thank you, BJ. And hello, everybody. I am also very loud, so I'm going to hold this down here so I don't blow my eardrums out and yours. Hi, everybody. I am super excited to be here tonight. Like PJ said, we have won 48 four times in our years of doing this. We've been doing it almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years as of next year. Our team formed in 2014, many years ago. We enjoy this project very, very much. We were recently at the most recent Filmapalooza also with Team Lone Wolf, who had won the Summer 48. And I was talking to PJ at the time when we were there, and I was like, man, we have been doing this for such a long time, and PJ is so great about always asking all of us. There it is. PJ's always great about asking all of us to go to these things and come back and bring knowledge and share. And I'm like, yes, we've got that in abundance. And our team is one of those teams that has learned a lot over the years. Yes, we've won a lot of times. We've also lost a lot of times. And we've gained a lot of knowledge throughout, not just doing the 48s here in Pittsburgh, going to Filmapalooza, meeting other teams, doing all that stuff. And so I just wanted a chance to talk to everybody about that and hopefully give you some info that can be helpful to all of you, both newcomers and people that have been doing this for a long time, because I do see some familiar faces with us tonight, like Jared over here from Filmmakers Finest, Daryl, other people that have come through. But anyway, so I'm very excited to talk to you. Let me just give you a quick rundown of the way the gaff tape. By the way, there is a PowerPoint presentation up here. I did not make a thick PowerPoint presentation because that would be boring. I'm a very talkative person and I will try not to ramble too much, but this helps keep me in line. So anyway, Gas tape, I like to believe, has a little bit of recipe for like how we function well. And we haven't always functioned completely well. We've been all over the place in our life. But here's some things that, for me, from having watched countless 48s over the years, having made almost 20-some short films of the past 10 years, and doing all of this that we have learned. And some of this is going to maybe seem like you roll your eyes at a little bit when you see it, but I will explain. The first thing about making a successful 48, and the thing that tops every other possible thing that I could talk to you about this evening, you need to tell a good story. I know that seems logical, but I have lost count of the amount of times that I have seen films that could have been really good, where we lost sight of what the story was, and lost sight of what a good story was. And before equipment, before production value, for anything else, you need to tell a good story. The other thing is, you need to be having fun doing this. There's laughter. If we are not having fun doing this, my big question to everybody is, why are we doing this? Because it's crazy. We're making a film in 48 hours. We all know, for those of us that have done this before, it is not easy. It is hard. Even those of us who have been doing it for a long time, it's still difficult. And there are times where, like, if you find yourself at any point in time doing this project, and you're like, I'm not having fun right now, you need to pause and ask yourself, what is off? What is it about what we're doing right now that we are not having fun anymore? Because if everybody on your crew is having a good time and enjoying themselves, that is going to feed itself back into the project, and that is going to feed itself into you making a good project. Which brings me to point number 3, take care of yourself and take care of your teammates. This is a big one that we have had to learn the hard way. And I will get into that a little bit more later. Drink water, eat, sleep, repeat that over and over again. We have had mishaps with that in our early years and got better at that over time. But that is a huge part of making sure everything's okay. Another big part of making sure everything's okay is losing your egos at the door. Lose your egos at the door. Snaps. Thank you. A fun fact about our team, in the first years of doing the 48, we were so overly nice to each other that none of us could ever decide who the director was going to be. So if you look at our early films and our credits, all 4 of our core founding team was listed as director for those films because we were all giving directive input. That changed over time. But it did awaken something. Like, the fact was, we didn't have a lot of ego going into those films, and that is one thing to this day, even though we have more definitive roles and we do things, is something we don't stand for in our team. If you come in and you join our teams, egos are checked at the door, and nobody's idea is better than anybody else's idea. And also on top of that is the idea that with ego comes like the ability to kill your darlings. If you've never heard that phrase before, it is the idea that, like, if something is not working, if something is not giving back to the story, giving to the plot, you need to really look at it critically and say, we need to get rid of this and be okay with that. I'm going to talk about more of that in a little bit. Moving forward, know your limits in this project and be reasonable about what you can accomplish. I know we all have huge ideas. We all have big ideas. We all have these grand sort of concepts we would love to pull off. You have 48 hours and you do not have a lot of time. You may have limits in the equipment you have, the actors you have, the locations you have. That's not bad. Limits aren't bad. Know what your limits are and how to make the most of them. Be reasonable with what you can do, which brings me back to point number 6, tell a good story, which is the only thing that matters. Don't drive me back there. All right. Woo! So let me give you a quick intro on my team. My team started in 2014 doing the 48-hour film project. There's all of us looking very young and naive. And like most of you who are doing this for the first time or for doing it for a long time, it started because somebody was like, hey, you want to make a movie over the weekend? And instead everybody else going, huh? What did you say? And we, fun fact about our team, we all met each other while working at the Apple Store in the Ross Park Mall. We were all Apple Store employees. Most of us, there's a few members that I've known from a ways back, but for the core of our team, we were Apple Store employees. And it just came about, and we had this attitude going in 2014 of like, we all had backgrounds like from college or different stuff, doing some film, doing some other things, and so we knew that about each other, and we're like, oh, this sounds like a fun weekend. We didn't think we were gonna like win anything. We were just like, we were also like, we had no equipment. We had like the bare bones of anything. We were just like, let's do this. This will be fun. Like we could, make something. It'll just be a good time over the weekend. Spoiler alert for those who don't know us. Our first year competing in the 48 in 2014, we won Best Film. That came as a very big surprise to us. The two biggest things we have learned over the last almost 10 years of doing this have been these two things, and these are bigger than anything else that we have pulled together, and I hope to like drive into your skulls tonight. Which is one, again, I go back, you will always have limitations in this project. That is okay. It's a limitation in actors, settings, whatever, gear, it doesn't matter. You always have a limitation of some kind. Learn to use those limitations to your advantage. I'm gonna show you some of the ways that we've done that in the past, because like that is the thing, knowing what our limitations were helped us make a better film, and not just looking at them as limitations. It's like, oh, well, we can't do this. And I've seen 48s where like people don't think about their limitations, and they just go, well, we really want to do this thing, but it doesn't end up being everything it could be because like they didn't consider what the limitation was. And like, it's okay, it's not to stop you, it's just to think about it and make you more creative in the process. Second point that I want to say that we've learned is that over anything else, more than gear, more than production value, story and craft matters. It matters here in Pittsburgh, it matters at Filmapalooza, it matters everywhere. Story is at the core of the films that turn into the top of the top of the top. They have a story that is clear and concise and works for their genre. These two, I have a lot of pictures in here from our past BTS. That picture on the right of me as a cowboy was from a film where we did not consider our limitations. That is a film where we pulled Western that year, and we tried to do this heavy dialogue-laden, like, Western in a park somewhere, in South Hill, with only shooting in like this one direction of the park because I wrote too much dialogue because I'm a dummy, and it was a complete mess. Similar, like on the left was another one where like we had a decent story, but again in our limitations, and that was a film which I will get to later. Was the first film we were ever disqualified for because of some big mistakes that we made. This picture here, I put up because this is going to summarize everything that I have to talk about today. This is from the first film we ever made in 2014, Last Man Standing. Everything you see in this picture was the entirety of the gear that we had for that weekend. What you can see there is a cheap plastic photography tripod, a camera that at the time I think it was like a Canon like T2i, like plastic body like shot. It was like a camera that shot 1080p, so we were very excited about that. But it was like the cheapest thing we could get our hands on. We had a makeshift dolly that I had my friend there in red. He's a welder, and he made the night before the 48 started out of scrap metal and like PVC piping. And we just had it all. He was like, I think I could make a dolly. And I was like, sure. Like, I don't know, we were gonna, like, we'll try to use it. But it was like, whatever. And it ended up being like the key to us making this film. It was wild. We had no reflectors. We had nothing to block the sun. You can see me using my hat there to block Brittany's camera because like literally to block reflection because I had nothing else going on. The only thing that is missing gear-wise from that shot is an iPhone 4, which we used to shoot a scene of that film and matched with that Canon because we knew what we were doing. And that brings me to a big point, is the gear doesn't matter, it is the craft and the knowledge that you have and of order to how to utilize it. And we knew it wasn't gonna be perfect, but we knew how to get the most out of those things to get what we needed, and how to tell the story properly. Also, that thing was pulled by bungee cords, which you can see in the photo, which I love very much. This is our editing setup for that film. It was 2 laptops and a very small table in the corner of Mike, our team leader, his desk in like Millvale. So it was like very cramped. And we made it happen. I think we were running like Final Cut at the time, and like there is actually a visual effects shot in that film, which is amazing that that even happened, but it's in there. So very small and bare bones. And there's my friend Jake welding the dolly itself, which you can see on the tracks. And I bring up this point because like, so, and I'm gonna show you in a minute, like, so that year, Last Man Standing, this film that we won, it was, we pulled silent film. It was silent film that year, which helped us a huge amount because we had no good mic equipment. We had, like, we were working off a shotgun off the camera, which we were like, this is gonna pick up horrible audio. So we actually kind of lucked out in that category. And we were like, silent film, okay, I can work with that. And then it became, well, our character was, that year, was supposed to be a human statue. And when we started thinking about like script ideas and like tossing around, and this is a point that I want to make, like really consider what your requirements are. Because we sit there and we're looking, okay, we have silent film, we have a human statue, I have a dolly at my disposal. And we started tossing around ideas and we realized that we could create a character that we never see move, but we move around him. And every shot became tracking shots and pushes and movement, and all the movement, there were other characters, background characters that moved through the scene, and we were like, but our character never physically moved. And we wanted to tell a story that was like, how does this guy get from point A to point B as he moves through the city and he's trying to get to see a movie at the manor. He was going, like, that's where we decided to film in front of. And we were like, how does he get from his house to there? But we never actually see him move at all. And we went through those and we used the dollies to kind of track each one of those shots. And we used our limitations to figure out what we could do. We also learned a valuable lesson this year. Don't do too many locations in one shoot. This is our first shoot ever. We shot at like a bunch of different locations around Pittsburgh, which was exhausting. And it was, if it wasn't for the fact that we were shooting this the way we were, I don't think we could have pulled it off. And so what we ended up with, and these are just shots, I'm not showing you the film, but these are, you can see where it just sort of moves around the spaces. And we had the music playing, we had those individual sort of like vignettes going, and I always love when the map gets taken away from him. we look back to like sort of that silent film era, right? And like all of those little, I love the skateboard. Everybody, with those silent films, like we were familiar with the genre, looking back on like, you know, Buster Keaton, like all these different things, like these guys, like going through, you had, the story moves forward, but you always have like these little like vignettes that are there, these little just comical bits that happen that move the story along. And so we filled out all of those beats, figured out what those were, storyboarded them, and then went out to like across the city and filmed them. Like we were in Millvale, we were in downtown, we were in Squirrel Hill, we were on the North Shore. It was too much. But for the film we were making, it ended up kind of working and we lucked out. And so we won that year. To great applause. We ended up in Filmapalooza in Hollywood, California that year, which is amazing. We were surprised as all heck that we made it there. Because again, like I said, it was just like bare bones. We went into it with this attitude of like, we're just gonna have fun this weekend and we don't have a whole lot to work with. Who knows? We were happy with what we made, and like we spent a lot of time thinking about it. When I think about those, you know, planning out what the beats of that story were going to be, I think of sitting with our teammate Jake and like till like 2 or 3 in the morning making storyboards, because we wanted to know like exactly how this was going to work, and that helped us out in so many ways. And when we wrapped and finished that year, we were just completely flabbergasted at the fact that it worked, because there was a lot of great films that year, as there are every year. But like we realized afterwards, and after we talked to people, we had a really concise story and it worked. Like I said, we shot on that Canon and an iPhone, and I mixed them. There was a scene on the, that was a limitation because we couldn't actually film on the T station. They were like, no. And I was like, but you don't have any signs up. And there's no anywhere, we're just doing it. And they were like, no. And I was like, break out the iPhone, we're doing this guerrilla style. And we mixed it and we made it work. And it happened. Story, which brings me back around. I want to talk a little bit about how we function in the writer's room and how we've evolved over the years. Our writer's room has always been a very, very collaborative. It's always been very collaborative from the very first time that we started. When you get into the writer's room, you may have somebody designated to your team who is your writer. That's great. But like, one person can't do everything. And you have a team of creatives at your disposal. One of the things we love to do, like on our writing team, is making sure we're having like a actual writer's room at the beginning, starting to swap ideas, taking notes, and more importantly, not getting too attached to any one idea. I've seen this happen way too often over the years, where like somebody throws out an idea, gets like really attached to it, and then it's like, well, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. And it's like, now, if everybody's in agreement and is like, yes, this sounds like this is what we want to do, like, cool, that's great. But like, toss around those ideas, really think about it, really let it fester a bit. Again, going back to what I talked about killing your darlings earlier, I'm gonna go to this recent year. So like last horror sci-fi project. So that was the latest one that our team won, was last year, the horror sci-fi project from 2022. And I was up late writing the script with Rick, who was my writing partner that year. We were sitting there working on stuff. I had written pages of stuff together, and we reached a point, I was looking at it, and I'm like, I turned to Rick and I was like, we're long. Like, we're too long. Like, you know, you're talking about like a page is roughly around a minute, you know, film time. Like, I was like, we're long. And I just looked at him and I'm like, after doing this for 9 years, I highlighted like 3 pages and just hit the delete button and started over. And it was because I knew from experience, I couldn't be precious about it. And I wrote dialogue in there I was really happy about. Like, there was dialogue that I was like, this is really funny. But I looked at it and I'm like, this is not gonna, like, overall, like, it's not helping moving the story forward. I just like it because I think it's entertaining. Like, that's not what makes a good story. Like, and so I really had to look at the stuff that I deleted and was like, does this work? Does this make a good story? And the answer was no, and I had to get rid of it. I couldn't be precious about it because we didn't have the time. To bring up another point, don't write the impossible and try to make it reality. Sometimes the impossible may be slightly reachable, right? We can look at our limitations and see how we can maybe make that work. But we still need to be grounded, and we still need to be realistic about what's possible. My goodness, did we get ourselves in trouble with that a bunch over the years. I mean, the worst experience I ever had with that is, thank you. I had a terrible experience with that in the past of like thinking that we were going to be capable of doing way more than we were, and we just didn't have the time, and I like didn't sleep that year. It was an absolute disaster. Or times where like we've written too much, and I thought it was funny, I thought it was great, but it didn't work. That was one of the films we didn't even win a single award for that one. Big part of the writing stuff, I'm just going to go through these real quick, because for those of you who are writers, this will be like, no duh, but for others, it may not. Understand who your characters are, understand their motivations. It's a big one. Oftentimes I see like films where I'm like, I don't really think people thought about what their characters' motivations were here, or why they were doing what they're doing. Make sure your film has a very clear beginning, middle, and end to that film in some way, whichever way it forms, because again, I've seen films where it's not clear what the full arc of that film is. Understand your genre and the different ways to approach it. Play but don't stray too much, but still play around. A thing that our team hasn't done this in a minute, but like in our early years, one of the things we used to do was before we started for the weekend, we would get together and start going down through the list of announced genres and start talking about like movies that we liked from those categories, and like if we'd seen them, we could kind of talk about like what we liked about them, like what worked and what didn't work, but also like what we ultimately thought. Like we would start watching some of those movies if we hadn't seen them. So that was like a really big help for like going into these genres, was knowing like what makes those genres. Use your requirements, please. Use them as like a help guide for you to help you write. Because oftentimes I see where people get their requirements, their prop, their line of dialogue, etc., and they go into the film, and it's like, you just shoehorn this in. Like, and that's okay, like sometimes you can't come up with the idea of how to use it, but like, how much better is it when you can come up with a really unique way to get it in there, and there's awards for that, which is great. So really use them to help you guide your writing process. Planning is, we have gotten better and better at planning over the years. We used to be terrible at planning. Like I said, we were a group of maybe like 4 people when we started. And one of those things was we would just go into the weekend and be like, whatever happens, happens. And we'd make some storyboards the day, and it was fine. We've gotten much better at that. Storyboards obviously are hugely important. If you can't draw, that's okay. One of the things we started doing was when we were in a bind and we didn't have enough time to draw things out, we started taking and going around the space and just taking photographs of what the shots were going to be, so that we could reference them later and actually look at them as a quick visual storyboard, which was super helpful. Use those to create yourself an actual shot list and schedule. We did not have good schedules for a long time. That hurt us tremendously. And it's something that we've gotten better at over the years, because it's better for us, the team, to keep us on track, but it's also good for making sure that your actors stay sane, and so that you're not making them sit around for too long, not doing anything, which can be a huge problem. And schedule in proper breaks for yourself. Assign runners to do things. Do not forget to take breaks for yourself. Which to that actor's point, I want to point that out. I'm an actor myself. My wife's an actor who also does a lot of our actual being a producer work nowadays. So I'm fortunate to have a lot of actors that we kind of pull from. But please be kind to your actors in these films. For those of you that are actors in here, I know you appreciate when your time is considered. So please consider your actors' time. When you have those schedules, when you have things blocked out, you can make sure that you're getting them in at the right time, so not taking up too much of their time. Also, don't make promises you can't keep. We have a long-standing rule in Gaff Tape and a Prayer. Early on, if anybody ever says they want to be a part of our team, we're ever taking anybody in, I am honest from the get-go. I tell everybody, I'm happy to have you 100%. I cannot guarantee you that you will have a role. As a fellow actor, I do not ever want to guarantee you can have a role because I do not want you feeling bad that weekend that I could not use you. We have great acting pools now that you can get a part of and on if we can, but when we write a script, we want to make sure that script at the first and foremost, and that story is the best it can be, and so we don't want to shoehorn characters and things in there that don't need to be there just because we need to, like, we promised somebody we were going to put them in the movie. But if that's the case, like, don't promise people things you cannot keep. Pre and post-production stuff. This is something that if you're a small crew, which we were, logistically probably, the smallest our crew ever was one actor and 3 people on the crew, including myself. And we had very little time to get that film done. It was not fun. But we had to figure out ways. We learned a lot that year about how to break up tasks and actually, like, we need to, like, to get through to keep our sanity. Which brings me to a point, practice a lot before the 48. If you have time, which you do, test out your gear. Test out your workflow of post-production. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend it. You'll find kinks in your armor, things that aren't working, and ways we do that more and more now, where we used to not, where we sit down beforehand and figure out what our workflow is going to look like so that there's no question about it when we go in. This is what's going to happen, this is who's getting this is who's doing this at what time, and it keeps things flowing better. Okay, Filmapalooza. We've been there 4 times, the 4-timers club, and enough over the years. All over the place we have been. And there's some lessons that we have taken back from that. I love the fact that over the years I've gotten a great chance at Filmapalooza to talk to other filmmakers from, like, over the world, to see their films. And when you're there, I mean, it's the top films from all over the world that have done the 48. And that's amazing. Those films, like, blow me away every time I see them. Our team, we've never gotten past Filmapalooza. We've never made it to Cannes. But, like, the films that have, they deserve it. And they've done really well. But the 2 biggest things that we've ever learned from those Filmapaloozas over the years goes back to what I said before, being humble and everybody learning from each other. That is one thing. We've talked to a lot of teams over the years about how their crews work. That's helped us bring back. That's what I'm trying to do for you now, and will continue to do if you ever have any questions. And the other is, too, again, story matters. Story really, 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 really matters. The top film from this past year's Filmapalooza, the one that ended up winning Best Film and going on to Cannes, we all sat there, Gaff Tape and a Prayer, Team Lone Wolf, PJ, and we all said afterwards when we watched it, this film could have been made in Pittsburgh. And we were looking at all the teams that were the top that year at Filmapalooza, and there were some gorgeous films. Films that I looked at and was like, we do not have the gear for that, we do not have the crew for that, we could not have pulled that off. None of those teams won Best Slot. They won awards, and they were well received, but this film, which was from Jacksonville, had a simple premise to it, and a simple production, and had a very clear story. And it could have produced by any team here in Pittsburgh. I truly believe that. Visually, and I don't know if we have actually time to watch it right now, but it's not really time right now. I did bring it up. But, yeah, PJ will upload it later if you want to watch it. Because this film, really, I ask you to go and watch it because hopefully it'll inspire you, because it really, I promise you look at it and it could have been made by your team, or my team, or anybody else. And we've seen that every single year we've gone. But this year in particular, this one really stuck out to me, which was pretty crazy. That being said, all of that jazz, because I know I'm running out of time. Once again, Gaff Tape and Prayer is our team. You can find us online, also our YouTube channel at Gaff Tape Prayer. I invite you, not just because I want the views, but I do invite you to certainly go over, and if you're curious, check out our catalog of 48s, because they're all on there. And you will see from 2014 till 2022 a huge difference in everything that we've accomplished, but a very clear voice throughout all of our films, which I think has worked really well. I guess I am open for question time. If people do have questions, I will toss it out to you.
Minimum or maximum time
The film should run for?
Minimum or maximum?
Yes, 4 to 7 is the usual. Has that changed? What's that? Yeah, 4 to 7 with 1 minute of credits. That is the, yes.
Do you have any advice on, say while you're writing and you're having a series of good ideas, when you eventually say, all right, this is the one, and like,
Yep.
how do you know? Is it a gut feeling? Is it what inspires the ultimate decision of like, this is it?
No, that's a super good question. Yeah, what inspires us of like, this is the thing. We have, like I said, we've done this enough every day, even in the early days, where it's like, we'll be tossing out ideas and keeping notes and keeping those things going. And eventually you will reach a point where like, everything starts to sort of like collide on each other. And you hit a point where the group doesn't have any choice but to look at it and go, even if you bounce over to something else and then come back, it's hard to say, but you just know, like you look at it and you're like, this is where all of what we have to work with aligns. Like this is where, like, yes, we can make this. This makes the most sense. And sometimes like somebody else at that point would try to like, well, what about this? And it's like, pull it back, because like, okay, check the time, where are we? And then it's also part of that too, of like, where are we in the course of the night, and the fact that like, how late am I gonna be writing? But you kind of know once you reach it, but having that collaborative effort to kind of bounce ideas off of really, really helps. Yeah.
Totally. Bouncing off that, like, how important would you say the chemistry of the group is?
No, that's a really great point. I mean, chemistry is huge. Like I'm very fortunate. The chemistry of our group since the beginning has been good. Doesn't mean we haven't gotten in arguments in the past. Our team leader, Mike, and I have gotten into it in the past over various things that I was like super passionate about. But that goes back to my point about being humble, like and checking your egos, because with Mike and I, or Mag, or Brittany, or like any of the people that were involved in our group, there always reached a point where even if we felt passionate, like super passionate about something, like we had to reach a point where like we looked at it reasonably and gone like and made concessions with each other, or calmed ourselves and actually talked to each other. And if you find that there's somebody or somebodies in your group that is like causing that to not work, have a chat with them maybe, or like consider like that's going to be a problem area that you need to work on. It's definitely makes, again, we only got so much time to do this, and if you're going to just sit around and bicker with each other, or like somebody's going to take over the reins, nobody's going to have a good time, and it's just going to be a bummer. Oh, the largest group. Actually, the largest group we had was just this past year. We had, I can't remember the specific amount. I think we had around like a dozen or so. And I personally, for me and for our team, I don't know how much bigger I can go. For some groups, they can do larger and larger teams. I remember talking to a team from France that had like 30-some person crew, and I was like, I can't manage that. I can't, and I know that is a limitation on my part. And that's great if you could, but I can't. So like 12 is probably around the maximum or somewhere around there. but the lowest of 4. So we've hit a big range. All right. I'm telling you it's wrap time, but I'm happy to speak to anybody else after this is over. And do you have one?
No. I was gonna ask how like is there any set that you really had to improvise? Like you wrote everything within a day of, you're like, oh no. Is that like big improvising that happened like the actual day after writing?
Oh, like the day of you had to improvise something? Oh yeah, all the time. Like literally every film we've ever made. And that's because it's like we had like the first film we made, like we ended up filming like the last scene in front of the manor in like Squirrel Hill. That wasn't the original plan. There was a different theater we were gonna film at and the same park that we were filming at, but the problem was there was construction in front of that theater the day that we showed up there, and we very quickly had to figure out a new spot. I can tell you more about those. There's like a bunch, like every single year, there's always something that comes up. So just be ready to like think on your toes. You'll come up with something will work.
All right, give it up for Bill. Great job, Bill. Great job. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to take just a very brief moment break. Please go use the restroom. Get ready. People are going to give pitches. I've got a list of people here who want to come up and pitch ideas. If you would like to pitch an idea, or if you would like to pitch yourself or your team, if you're pitching yourself, you're looking for a team. If you're pitching your team, you're looking for people. At the front desk over there is a computer. You can add your name to the Google sheet that I have so that I have your info. We're going to do that in just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. So take a brief respite. First is Jackie Druga from Team Beginnings. Come on up. Our current legacy winner.
Hi there, I'm Jackie, and this will be my 22nd or 23rd time doing 48 hours. And I'm just letting you guys know that Beginnings is open to actors or crew members. If you want to be a part of our team, please reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, or you can meet me in the back of the room. Love to have you aboard. And this is a great group, a lot of faces I don't know. I'm so excited. All right, good luck, everybody.
Jackie, make sure you sign up on the form back there just so I can give people your info, the best info. And if you haven't gotten a chance, check out Jackie's belt. You can put it on for a minute, get your picture taken with it. She won that for being our legacy winner this year for the 48. So she's our second winner. Yeah. Thanks, Jackie. All right, next up, our next person pitching is Spencer Palando. Spencer. Oh, he's paying the meter. We'll come back to Spencer. All right, next up is Bob Squark. Come on up, Bob. Okay, do you want me to hand you the mic? What do I do? Stand in the middle.
Okay, this is not for the 48, but I'm looking for a coffee house to make a very short film, 2.5 pages, non-Starbucks. It's based on a coffee house at Penn State where I went as an undergrad. It's called the Jawbone. It's very rustic and low-key. So if anyone knows of the location, get in touch with me. Thank you. And I'm going to be on Team Bob Scott's team, Cajun Shamrocks. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. So if anybody knows a good coffee shop, tell Bob. All right, next up, Spencer, are you back? Come on up, Spencer.
Hi, I'm Spencer. I don't have a team to pitch. I'm kind of just pitching myself. I'm new to the area. I recently graduated from film school, so I'm really itching to kind of get back into these panicky small projects because you get really used to it after a few years. And like whatever, if there's like whatever role needs behind the camera, I'm not an in front of the camera kind of person. But whatever is needed, like I'll be available for it. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome, Spencer. Next up, Ben Nadler. Come on up, Ben.
Hi everyone. Hi. So my name is Ben. My day job is I work as a production coordinator for a production company and stuff, so I have that under my belt. Pretty good at it. Very good at managing all the logistics for any kind of shoot. However, my real passion is theater and acting and stuff. So recently around Pittsburgh, I've been doing a lot of acting in the community theater scene and a little bit in the screen acting scene. I want to break in more to it. Hi, that's why I'm here. So I'm pitching myself. I'm not part of any sort of team, so I'd love to be considered to be part of any of your teams. So reach out to me, come talk to me. I got some cards, I got a website, all kinds of fun stuff like that. So come, hit me up, let's talk. I sing, I dance, I do all kinds of crazy things. So let's chat. That's it. Thanks, guys.
And just so everybody knows, all of the people's info who are pitching is on a Google Sheet that is available through our Facebook group. And so all of the info is available. If you don't get somebody's info here tonight that you want, it's all available. I have it, so you can reach out to me directly. But if you go to our Facebook group, you can see the link for the Google Sheet there as well. Okay, next up, Elwin Green. Elwin.
Hello. Okay, I'm Elvin Green, and I want to produce, which means that I want to be the guy who hires everybody else. Okay, so I'm looking for everybody for a team. Looking for actors, director, production people, sound, camera, etc., etc., etc. I've already done a couple of shorts, and in the spring, I co-wrote and co-produced one of the shorts in the 48. It was titled A Rose. So if you saw that, right, I was involved in that. So that's it. Looking for a team. Hope that you'll consider joining me to have a whole bunch of fun for the craziest weekend ever. That's it.
Thank you, Elwin. Yeah. Next up, Anthony Babot.
Hi guys, sorry I'm really nervous, this never gets any easier. Hi, my name is Anthony Babot. I'm an actor and model in Pittsburgh. I have a primary background in theater. I'm trying to transition to film and television. I don't really like to limit myself. I know on the sheet I said I was an actor, but recently, not too long ago, I was an assistant director on a short film. I consider myself a quick learner, so if you guys ever need a boom operator, gaffer, grip, anything like that, I'm a quick learner. I can help out in any way possible, but I'd like to act. Please talk to me. I'm approachable. I like to think so. So thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Next up, Jesse Veramontes. Come on up, Jesse.
Hi, I'm Jesse. I'm dressed in scrubs because I just came here from work. But yeah, I've been working on films for quite a while now. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that I worked on never actually got released, so I don't have it available to show you. But I've worked behind the scenes a lot. I've done, PA work. I've been an assistant director on a short film before, and I've done some acting work too. Last year I was part of the 48-hour film festival, and I'm in a team there, and we had a good time. I think that was the biggest group they were talking about earlier, because I know our group was pretty big. So yeah, I'm looking to do a lot of acting. I love horror, sci-fi, all that stuff. So this particular one is like one I was looking forward to doing. I don't have a lot of friends that do acting or filmmaking and stuff like that. I know a few people from around here, like I know PJ and stuff. But yeah, so I'm looking to meet some people that are into acting and filmmaking and stuff like that, so I can make some connections and hopefully make some good movies. And if you need anybody to sit in a chair for hours on end and be buried under pounds of makeup, I'm your guy.
Nice, Jesse. Nice. Next up, Darrell Pulley.
Good evening, my name is Darrell Pulley. Usually I would be acting in these 48-hour projects, but for the first time I will be making up my own team. So I am looking for some fresh talent, looking for a crew. So if you guys are interested, please reach out to me. I'm an approachable guy. I may seem short and sweet, but I am, but yeah. So you can reach out, You can reach out to me on my Facebook, Darrell Pulley. Same thing with Insta. My email is on the call sheet. And you can also reach out to Pulley Productions on our socials from Instagram and Facebook, and at pulleyproductions@gmail.com. Let's make it happen.
Yes, Darrell. Next up, Clayton and Connor Petrella, the twins of destruction.
Hello everybody, my name is Clayton, and my name is Connor, and we're the Twins of Destruction. For this upcoming 48, this would be the fourth one that we've done. We started last summer, did last falls, did last summers, and then this fall. For the first summer we got nominated for Best Costumes. For the first fall one we did, we won for Best Costumes. Nothing last summer. But we're hoping to change that for this fall with our own team this time. We never had our own team before. And we win so many costume awards because that's what we do. We tell stories with costumes. We are particularly costume and prop people, but we've also directed in the past, including directing a DC Comics fan film, The Last Son of Mars, which won the Youngstown State 2021 Festival of New Works First Place Prize. So we would like, I appreciate it. We would like to talk to anyone and everybody about possibly collaborating and making something incredible this coming fall. Thank you so much.
The twins of destruction, if you will. Kelsey Ray.
Hi everyone, I'm Kelsey Ray. I'm an actor. The last 48 was my first 48, and I had so much fun that I've done a couple short films since then. I'm shooting a indie TV pilot in DC next month, and I also have a theater background, so if you need somebody who knows how to project that horror scream, if you're a teen looking for your scream queen, I could be your girl. But thank you. I'm looking forward to having some more fun making movies here in Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Kelsey. That reminds me, one of the awards is for Scream King or Queen. Their current reigning champs are sisters, and they're small. They're like in junior high. They're little girls. But you could take it from them. You could take it, you could be. Anyway, next up, Rebecca Hurlbert.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Hurlbert. I am new to Pittsburgh, but not to theater and acting. I put myself down as an actor, but I also have a lot of experience in writing, associate producer in New York City. I was a stage manager for an off-Broadway show, so I do have some other talents. I'm looking forward to getting back in the scene, and this seems like a really fun project to do. I used to work as a teacher in West Philadelphia, so I can be really scary. But yeah, I'm super excited and I'm looking to join a team. Thank you.
Ted and Maggie Froats, come on up.
I'm Ted Froats. My daughter Maggie, she's 10 years old, so you think of all those horror films that have the creepy little girl, she's so creepy. So we are both actors. I've been acting since 1997. I've done 2 of these 48-hour film festivals before, but it's been about a decade since I've done the last one because she's about a decade old. So we're excited to do it as a package, the 2 of us together, 2 actors for the price of 1. We're back at table 16 if you want to talk. Thanks.
Hold on one second. We gotta hear from Maggie. Come here, Maggie. Maggie, what's scary to you?
Bugs.
All right, bugs are scary to Maggie. When you get a bug movie,
Insect category.
there is totally an insect category. All right, next up, Jenna and Rosie. Oh yeah, come on up, Jenna and Rosie. I'm hoping that Ted and Maggie meet up with Jenna and Rosie. Yeah, and then it's sort of like a crazy movie, right? I know. Here you go.
I know. We could have like battle of the psychotic little ones. I'm Jenna Chung. This is Rosie Suter, and we're related. I am her mother. She came from my body. So I'm an actor. I've only been acting for like 2 years. I've been involved in the 48s for the last couple of years. I've learned so much. I have so much fun. I'm an actor. I sing and I dance, and I have been trying to get, because I would love to get some footage singing. So I sing and I dance. And Rosie does not want to do horror, but she loves sci-fi. So she would love to be an alien or a robot. And so if you are interested in having a cool young one who is currently hungry and a little bit shy, but yeah, and my strength definitely be a wide range of emotion in terms of horror and getting scared and that kind of a thing. I tend to be either a victim or a villain. So and very excited. Would love to meet everybody, and if you have other projects, hit me up. But thank you.
Great job, Jenna and Rosie. Next up, Marie Taylor. Come on up, Marie. Marie, everybody!
It's a good thing I have long legs. Hi, I'm Marie. I'm new to the area. I'm an actor. I've mostly been on stage, but have been transitioning into screen and film. I've done a few extra indie films in the area, done extra work. Was recently in a historical fiction film about Jane Austen. It was the campiest thing I've ever done in my life. I was Jane Austen. And actually there is how I found out about 48-hour theater. So I moved here in November, and I'm fairly new and trying to meet new people, especially artists. So I am very excited to just be here and meeting people, but I'm also really interested in just how this works. So I would love to be on a team just to see it. So I am open to acting, absolutely, always. But I'm also just interested in being a second pair of hands anywhere I can be just to see how it works. Thanks.
Thank you, Marie. Next up, Ellen Coxon. Ellen, come on up. Don't be afraid of the step, see, the one step.
Hey, guys, my name's Ellen Coatzen. I'm an actress, theater first and then film. I've been doing it for 30 years, so I'm one of those old people. But no, actually, you might have seen me on TikTok as Pittsburgh Hills. Check it out. I go all over Pittsburgh, so if somebody needs locations and stuff like that, I have a lot of information about places that are cool, maybe to shoot and stuff like that. In the meanwhile, I'm interested in getting with people to do acting as a primary thing. I do editing on the side and stuff like that. I learned doing it with Avid and Final Cut and all that back in the day. And I actually did tape to tape, guys, so I'm that old. So anyway, if you guys are interested in somebody like me being on your team, I'm very energetic and I have a lot to offer as far as experience and stuff. Look me up. I have cards if you want to approach me. Thanks, guys.
Okay, next up, Angie Rusneck. Come on up, Angie.
Hi, I'm Angie. I went to Point Park for theater, and I also focused on some writing there. Haven't really done much performing and stuff because of COVID lately, but I'm really ready to get back into it now. Mainly focused on acting or writing, but I'm honestly willing to do anything. Even like production stuff, I would be happy to learn just anything. So yeah, this is my first festival. I only learned about it pretty recently, but it sounds super exciting, and yeah, I'm just happy to be back here. Yeah.
Okay, so that's everyone I've got on my list. Was there anybody who wanted to come up and say something? Oh, Jared, come on up, Jared.
Okay, hi, I'm Jared. I'm with Filmmakers Finest. We've been doing this for a whole decade. This is my 24th-ish, 48th. Essentially, I'm looking for some new blood. We have a great team. We all are very good friends. We get along together great, but we could also use some new people. Even if you're brand new to the competition, we started, I think the 4 main people in our group have been since the beginning, but everyone else we've been added one person on at a time, and they've all enjoyed the competition. I've done it every year since, so we're really open to new people, especially if you're flexible in your position, because like Bill said, I hate promising roles to actors and I can't deliver on. So people that are also useful as PAs or grips, all that kind of stuff. If you're open to that kind of thing, hit me up. I have a completely unspellable name, so have fun finding me on Facebook, or hit us up at filmmakersfinest@gmail.com. Thanks.
Okay, that's filmmakersfinest@gmail.com. Oh, would you like to come up? Come on up.
Hi, my name is Kennedy Jones. I am working on a project for 40 hours with my friend Darrell. I am a screenwriter, actor, director. Basically, I like to wear many hats. So if you ever need my help on anything, this project or your next project, do not be shy. Do hit me up. I'll send my information on the computer. Can I still do that? Yep. I'll send my information on the computer if you want to get to me. My name is Kennedy Jones, Kennedy Jones. Thank you.
Yeah, in a minute, Darrell. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, yes, come on up.
Hello, my name is Allie Lampman Sims. I am an actor, but I also build costumes and concept designs. I'm really excited to be a part of this because I actually have worked for Scarehouse and The Basement for many, many seasons, and usually this is full-blown haunt season, and I am not doing that, so I'm looking into that. So I have a lot of also experience in theater in general, especially immersive theater. I like to learn different things between doing stunts, makeup, and practical effects. I do like to storytell and help with the writing, so I'm looking to just kind of like meet people and get more involved in this. So you can find me on Facebook, and my information's on the Google Docs too, so thanks.
Nice. Thank you so much. Is there anybody else who didn't get a chance? Oh, come on up.
Hi, I'm Bethany Edwards. I am getting ready to direct my senior project for college, and I'm starting filming this month, and if anyone wants to help, I need all the help I can get. It's a pretty ambitious project, and especially if you know a school that would let me film there. I'm having a lot of trouble getting a school to film at. So I still need a few actors, and anyone who wants to help on the crew, that would be fantastic. So thank you.
And what's nice is Bethany's not going to be filming the 48 weekend, right? No. So if you could be on a 48 team and then go film with her. By the way, Bethany won Best Student 48 at the last time we had awards. So she's an award winner. You know. Darrell, you had one last thing you wanted to say? Yeah, come on up, Darrell, and then we'll have you right after.
Yeah, I forgot to mention one more thing. I am currently doing a production called Until We Meet Again, and we're approaching our third day, which will be on August 19th on a Saturday. So we are looking for background to participate in a memorial scene. So if you are interested in that, please let me know, because we need as many background as we can for that day, because it's going to be really huge. That's all I have to say.
Bethany, make sure you add your info to the Google Sheet back there. I got your name, but you add the rest. Come on up.
So I can see you and you can see me. My name is Alec Belovec. I'm an actor. I'm actually engaged for this 48 hour, but just wanted to put my name out there and say, like, I am an actor. I'm available pretty much anytime. So, like, if you need actors, I'll get my info into the sheet so that you can look me up. I am fairly versatile, I think. So, thank you.
I have seen him act and sing. And he can do it. He can do it. Okay. Oh, Randy? No. Oh, you're good, Randy. Okay. He's not shy. That's not true. He just doesn't need to pitch. Okay, everybody. Great. Well, listen. My advice to you is look across the room right now and lock eyes on somebody you don't know, and then walk over there and shake their hand and just meet them. Just meet them. Even though you got a team for the 48 or maybe you don't, go meet someone new, hang out. You don't have to leave right now. That's just everything we have to do up front. But please talk to some other people, get another drink, hang out for a little while. Thank you so much for coming and being part of the 48. We're so lucky that you're here. Thank you.